Hello everyone. Before starting this lesson, try the warm-up. Determine the value of the indicated side or angle. So here we're finding a side length, x. Here we're finding an angle, theta. The point of this warm-up is to see if you remember some key ideas about triangles before we get started in the trigonometry unit. So pause the video and try to find the answers to these questions. Well, here we are. In this question, I have a right triangle. I know two sides, and I want to find the third side. So I can use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared, where c is the hypotenuse. So when I solve for x, I end up doing a subtraction. Watch out for that. We end up with 8 meters as the answer. In the second triangle, what I was trying to get you to remember was that all the interior angles of a triangle add to 180 degrees. So if I want to find this third angle, I have to subtract 90 and 25 degrees from 180. And I'll end up with 65 degrees as this missing angle. So again, the point of all this was just to get your minds in gear for trigonometry. This is the first lesson in our trigonometry unit. It's about trigonometric ratios. So we're going to talk about what trigonometric ratios are. Part of it is review, part of it is new stuff. We're going to evaluate primary and secondary trigonometric ratios. But first, let's get into some terminology. I've got the words hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent on the screen. And we need to be able to label triangles' sides with these terms. So if I look at each of these triangles on the screen here, first I'm going to find where the hypotenuse is. So the hypotenuse, remember, is the longest side of the triangle, and the longest side is going to be across from the largest angle. So in a right triangle, 90 degrees is the largest angle, so across from that is the hypotenuse. And in this triangle, there's the 90-degree angle, so across from that is the hypotenuse. Now, when we're labeling opposite and adjacent, that's in reference to an angle. So here I've labeled theta as the angle I'm referring to. Here I've labeled theta as the other angle that I'm referring to in this triangle. In both cases, the term opposite refers to the side that's opposite that angle. It's on the opposite side, the other side, straight across. So this is the opposite side, and in this triangle, this is the opposite side. Now for the adjacent side in the triangle, the word adjacent means beside, so it's the side that's beside your reference angle. So in this triangle, here's my angle, this is the side that's beside, this is adjacent, and in the other triangle, this is the side that's adjacent. So the whole point of this is just to remind you how to label right triangles with the terms hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent, because we're going to use these terms in the next slide. Now in grade 10, you would have learned about the primary trigonometric ratios, sine, cosine, and tangent. And we have ratios that these are equal to. You might not remember them, but you might remember them too. They use the words opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse in the ratio as a fraction. You may have also been taught this acronym, SOHCAHTOA, to help you remember how to write these ratios for sine, cos, and tan. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so we write that as sine theta, that's the angle. Sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So this is just to remind you about the sine, cosine, and tangent ratios that you learned about in grade 10. So if you have the actual numbers in your drawings of your triangles, you can figure out which ratio to use, sine, cos, or tan, in order to solve your problem. Now I call these the primary trigonometric ratios, but mathematicians will also talk about the secondary trigonometric ratios, which are the cosecant, the secant, and the cotangent. Now these secondary trigonometric ratios are also called reciprocal trig ratios, and this is why. Compare sine with cosecant, they're reciprocals. Compare cosine with secant. They are reciprocals. And the tangent and the cotangent are also reciprocals. Remember, the word reciprocal means you're just switching numerator and denominator, essentially. So we have the primary trig ratios and we have the secondary trig ratios. They all work with the same labels of opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. Now, all of your problems that you're going to solve using trigonometry can be accomplished with the primary trig ratios. So why do we have secondary trig ratios? Well, really it's just a shorthand. Instead of writing divide by tangent, you can just write multiply by cotangent. It's just a way that mathematicians have of writing shorthand, so they don't have to write as many fractions. So in this example, we're going to state the 6 trigonometric ratios of angle A. So here's angle A. Start by labeling hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent so that you can actually write what the ratios are for angle A. Here's the 90-degree angle, so the 5 centimeter side is the hypotenuse. This is angle A, this is our reference angle. So straight across from that is the opposite side, 3 centimeters is the opposite side. The other side is adjacent. So when I say state the 6 trig ratios of angle A, I mean like this: sine A equals 3 over 5, opposite over hypotenuse. What would cosine of A equal? What would tangent of A equal? What would be the secondary trig ratios of angle A? Pause the video and see if you can complete the rest on your own. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, 4 over 5. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, 3 over 4. The cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, so 5 over 3. The secant is the reciprocal of cosine, so 5 over 4. And the cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent, 4 over 3. Example 2. Bob used a clinometer to determine the angle of elevation to a treetop. Pause there for a second. Angle of elevation. Elevation is in the upward direction. So this is the angle looking up. So here's Bob. He's looking out up at a 16.7 degree angle. That's the angle of elevation. The clinometer is just the device he used to measure that angle. Bob estimates the tree is about 3 meters tall. Okay, so here it is labeled on the diagram, 3 meters. How far is Bob from the base of the tree? Well, here's Bob, here's the base of the tree, that's the distance. So we need to figure out this distance right here. I want you to solve using primary and secondary trigonometric ratios. Start by using the primary trig ratios, sine, cosine, and tangent. Choose which one, solve, and then try to solve the same problem using a secondary trig ratio instead. I start by labeling. That's the opposite side, which is 3 meters. The side I want to find is the adjacent side. So because I want to find the adjacent side, and I know the opposite side, well, opposite and adjacent, that's tangent. So I'm going to use the tangent ratio, plug in the numbers that I know. The angle is 16.7 degrees. The opposite side is 3. The adjacent side is x. I'm just calling it whatever I want, x. To solve this equation, it's going to be 3 divided by tan 16.7. I do that in the calculator, and it rounds to 10 meters. So I can say Bob is 10 meters from the base of the tree. Now, how would I solve this problem using a secondary trigonometric ratio? Well, here I'm using tangent. The reciprocal of that is cotangent. So I can use the cotangent of 16.7 to solve. Notice it's not 3 over x, it's x over 3 because it's the reciprocal function. It's not opposite over adjacent. Cotangent is adjacent over opposite. So when I have the cotangent of 16.7 equals x divided by 3, to solve for x, it's 3 times the cotangent of 16.7. Now let's stop right there for a second. How do you type that into your calculator? If you look at your calculator, You look at the trigonometric ratios on there. It says sine, cos, tan. You don't have a cotangent button, so how do you type this into your calculator? Well, just remember the cotangent is 1 over the tangent. It's the reciprocal of the tangent. So you can do 3 multiplied by 1 divided by tan, 16.7. That's how you can do cotangent in your calculator. Now, some calculators will have a reciprocal button. If you're interested to know if your calculator has that, just ask and I can help you figure that part out. We'll do one more example. Example 3, determine EF in triangle DEF to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. A tenth of a centimeter is 1 decimal place. Triangle DEF, that's this triangle. Determine EF. Well, here's E, here's F, so EF is this line right here. We're trying to figure out the length of that line. Now, before you get thinking that you got to use a trig ratio here to find that side length, just watch out. You don't know these angles here, so you can't. So you got to think, how else can I figure out this side length here? I'll give you a hint. You did it in the warm-up, so why don't you pause the video and just figure out this side length here before we get going. Hopefully you figured out that you can use Pythagorean theorem here. 8 squared plus 20 squared equals the hypotenuse squared, which we're calling EF. When you figure that out, it's the square root of 464. Now, I just wanted to show you here as a reminder that you can simplify a radical. This will simplify to 4 root 29 as the exact answer. But in the question, it says determine to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. So it's asking us to round our answer, and that's what I'm doing. So I can actually just do that in the calculator, and I get about 21.5 centimeters. Now, part B, that's where it gets a little more interesting. Express one unknown angle in terms of a primary trigonometric ratio, and the other angle in terms of a reciprocal ratio. So here's one unknown angle, angle F, and here's the other one, angle E. So start with either angle you want, express it in terms of a primary trig ratio, and express the other one as a secondary or reciprocal ratio. Then, calculate the unknown angles to the nearest degree. So pause the video and see if you remember how to find unknown angles using trig ratios. I chose to start with angle E. Angle E has the tangent as 8 over 20. Opposite over adjacent. You could have expressed this as sine or cosine. You would have just had to use the hypotenuse in your equation. Either way, when you get your final answer, you're going to get about 22 degrees for angle E. Now, if you forgot how to do something, it was probably right here, how to find the angle. If the tangent of the angle is equal to 8 over 20, then the angle itself is the inverse tangent of 8 over 20. So to access this on your calculator, you'll have to use your shift button or your second function button as well as your tangent button. Make sure you have 8 over 20 in brackets. If you're running into issues and you're not getting 22 degrees when you try this in your calculator, you should reach out for some help before you try other questions on your own. Now the other angle, angle F, I can express it using a reciprocal ratio or a secondary trig ratio. I'm going to use the cotangent. The cotangent of F is not opposite over adjacent, it's adjacent over opposite, 8 over 20. So to find the angle F, it's going to be the inverse cotangent of 8 over 20. Now how do you put that in your calculator? Well, just remember you can use the tangent, inverse cotangent of 8 over 20 is inverse tangent of 20 over 8, reciprocals. And you end up getting about 68 degrees. And if you're up for a challenge, here's the challenge problem. Given a right triangle with an acute angle theta, if tan theta equals cotangent theta, describe what this triangle would look like. So we know it's a right triangle. We have some angle where the tangent is equal to the cotangent. What might that triangle look like? So you can pause the video and see if you can come up with what this triangle would look like. So to figure this out, I started with just making a drawing. I have a right triangle, an acute angle theta. I labeled some sides with x and y, and I'm told that the tangent of the angle is equal to the cotangent of the angle, so I started with that. Now in my drawing, the tangent of theta is opposite over adjacent, y over x. The cotangent will be x over y. Now if those are equal, let's cross multiply. Y times y is y squared. That's equal to x times x, which is x squared. If we take the square root of both sides, I see that y is equal to x. Now if y is equal to x, that means they have the same length, which means this is an isosceles triangle. So that's what this triangle would look like. It would be an isosceles triangle. And now it's time to practice. So you're going to use sine, cosine, tangent, also cosecant, secant, and cotangent. You can use those ratios to solve for missing side lengths and solve for missing angles in a right triangle. As you're practicing, if you need any help, just reach out and I'll do my best to help.